Greetings, NFL fans, and welcome into the Pro Football Chase podcast. On the line today for an interview is Memphis outside linebacker Bryce Huff. Huff played in 52 career games for the Tigers, making 25 starts. During that span, he accumulated 136 total tackles, 95 solo, 39.5 tackles for loss, and 18 sacks. Huff was named to the All-American Athletic Conference second team in 2018 and 2019. Bryce, thanks for joining me. How are you doing?
I'm great. Thanks for having me on.
Good to hear, man. I hope you're staying safe out there, and I am certainly praying for all those impacted by COVID-19. I know we will get through this eventually. Now, let's go ahead and get with the interview, Bryce. And before we dive into some draft-related topics, let's focus on your college career. You were a consensus two-star recruit coming out of St. Paul's Episcopal. Talk about your decision to join Memphis over other schools.
Of course, based on my rating out of high school, I wasn't very highly recruited. I was came to be an All-American going into my junior season, but I broke my shoulder and my recruitment stopped. So that really cut the recruitment down as far as Power 5 schools go. So going into my senior year, I came back bigger and stronger off that injury. Got offered by every Sun Belt school, and I was committed to South Alabama because that's my hometown school. So I was committed to them for my entire senior season. But in December, when Coach Norvell left Arizona State and got the job at Memphis, he offered me, and I went on my official visit, and he just showed me everything about the culture and what he was planning on building at Memphis, and I wanted to be a part of it. So that's what led to me making that decision.
We know Mike Norvell is now at Florida State after a very successful tenure at Memphis. How did you like playing for him?
It was great. He was a great coach, a great leader. He taught us a lot about football and life in general, like as far as accountability and how to do things the right way on and off the field. So it was a great experience.
Bryce, you saw mostly special teams action as a freshman. You logged 2 sacks and 5 tackles for loss in 2017 before breaking out in 2018 with 9.5 sacks, 19 tackles for loss. What factors played into your increased production as an edge rusher?
Just more time on the field. I feel like I was capable of doing that, putting up those same numbers my sophomore year. The only difference is I was backing up Jannard Avery my sophomore year. I was only seeing the field in a relief position, whenever he needs to come off the field. But other than that, with that increase in stats, I feel like a lot more work went into this offseason as well, just honing my skills even more and making the coaches more confident that I was able to go out and perform to the best of my ability.
As a senior, you moved to defensive end. You recorded 52 total tackles, 15.5 tackles for loss, 33 solos, 6.5 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, and 1 fumble recovery. What do you want scouts to see when they turn on your 2019 film?
I want them to see my effort, my all-out relentless pursuits of the ball, my ability to finesse offensive tackles, my ability to overpower tight ends and tackles in the run game. My ability to chase down running backs from the backside. I was covering tight ends out of a three-point stance, which is something you don't see often. Just something unique to our defense at Memphis last year. And what else? Just my physicality in general. I know a lot of people don't take that into consideration when it comes to scouting players, but I feel like my physicality stands out.
Memphis finished the season with a remarkable 12-1 record and a bid to play Penn State in the Cotton Bowl. In that game, you tallied 5 tackles, half a tackle for loss, and half a sack against the Nittany Lions. What do you recall from that performance?
I was just playing my technique, doing what the coach needed me to do for the game. There was a part of the game where I think it was somewhere in the second half. I think we were down by 3, and I was third and however long it was, but it was obvious passing situation. My coach told me to go in there and go get the quarterback, so that's what I went in there with the intention of doing. I beat the offensive tackle off the line and turned the edge, was on a beeline to the quarterback, and I got yanked from behind. So with that being a holding on the play, I wish I wouldn't have gotten held. I would have had the opportunity of going out there and changing the game for my team, but instead it just results in a holding call. So that's my only real regret from that game. It's not bending harder and not getting held or something like that, but I feel like that was a solid performance by me. I just know me and my team could have done a little better just to put more points on the board and hold them to less so that we can come up with the W. But I feel like overall we had a solid season.
What was it like playing at AT&T Stadium on the big stage against a Power 5 opponent?
It was a great experience being in the Cowboys Stadium on that turf. It was a huge stadium with the Megatron in the middle of the field. It was a great experience.
Bryce, what drives you to achieve success, and why is it important for you to keep pushing when things get tough?
I feel like I'm internally motivated. I've always had this fire in me, and I feel like I've known there was like motivation burning in me since the fourth grade. I feel like that's when it really clicked for me, that I knew I was just a hard worker and I was going to succeed or whatever I put my mind to. So I'll say internal motivation, and then when things get tough, I feel like things have been tough for me for a large portion of my life as far as football goes. I've always been underrated. I've always been looked over. I've always been slept on. So having to show up on a new field or show up for some new coaches and prove myself is nothing new. As far as being slept on or having things not going my way. So I feel like that's just part of life, facing adversity and overcoming it.
You participated in the 2020 East-West Shrine game that was played on January 23rd in St. Petersburg, Florida. Talk about your experience being a part of that event and how it benefited you.
My experience there in Florida was great. You know, we got a chance to go and spend time with the kids at the Shriners Hospital. We got a chance to learn from NFL coaches and hear what they had to say about our performances and what we can do to get better. I got a chance to play football with some of the best in college football in my class, and it was an all-around great experience. I learned a lot.
Bryce, what intangibles and traits set you apart from other edge rushers in this year's draft class?
I would have to say my motor and my passion for the game. I feel like a lot of guys have the athletic traits as far as the height and the weight and the length or whatever, but I feel like my motor, like you watch my film, I don't take plays off. I'm always chasing plays down from behind. I'm always giving my full effort. When it comes to off-season work, I don't get outworked. And so I feel like my ability to get better and progress in off-season or even during the season is unmatched. Like I feel like I definitely have the highest ceiling in this draft as far as what I'm going to be able to produce my first year and beyond that. So I feel like it's just my work ethic.
You played both spots, outside linebacker and defensive end. With that said, how can you provide versatility for NFL teams that are looking for a hybrid linebacker that can get home on pass rushing situations?
Being able to play both positions is something that I take pride in. Being able to put my hand in the dirt and really, really manhandle some tackles and be strong at the point of attack and set the edge, and also be able to stand up, drop in coverage, rush the passer. I feel like those are good attributes to have in this league, and I feel like any defensive coach in the NFL will be able to use my abilities to their extents. So I feel like that's a really good attribute for me to have.
What type of study habits do you possess in terms of watching and breaking down film?
During our season at Memphis, we usually break down film as a team. We come in on Tuesdays and we talk about the tendencies of teams and what they like to do on their first and second downs, their passing downs, and what types of plays they like to run. And they basically give us a script for how we need to watch film. So I usually break it down that way. But on the day before Tuesday, on Monday, which is our day off, we usually get together as a defensive line group and pick out offensive tackles and the guards and see what their tendencies are and see if they present any hints as far as what kind of plays they're going to run, if it's going to be run or pass, and things like that. And then on Tuesday, we go over the runs. Wednesday, we go over pass rushing downs. And then Thursdays, it's usually just like a walkthrough. So on Thursdays, I'll take the time to go and look at a TV copy, see if I can point out any clues in the cadences or any calls on the sideline that look like they've been shown multiple times and that are showing patterns in an opponent's game.
Now we know with COVID-19, a lot of pro days have been canceled. Everything has been wiped out in terms of visits to teams' facilities. So first things first, who have you been training with the last couple of weeks since this shutdown has been in order?
Well, I've had, I was training at APEC in Fort Worth, Texas, and then I came back home and they provided us with an app that they upload our workouts onto. You know, I have a gym here that I have access to by myself, and I can go and get all my lifts done. You know, I have a field also that I can go in and get my field work in, my skill work. As far as like working on my footwork, working on my hands, bending the edge, and things of that nature. So I've had a pretty blessed past couple of weeks to have that at my disposal.
What are some things you've been working to improve ahead of the NFL draft? Maybe some pass rush moves, your agility, your speed, your quickness off the ball. Has there been any certain focus on anything like that?
I've definitely been working on my functional strength. It's not something that I lack, but it's something that I knew I could improve on. But just having and working out with, I feel like working out as a team and doing teamwork during my time at Memphis, like working out with the strength and conditioning coaches, I wasn't as able to pinpoint things that I needed personally, but I was always strong. So I guess during this time, I've taken the time to see what are my weakest points and strengthen those to the best of my ability. And I've also been working on functional power, like explosion out of my hips when it comes to striking a tight end and six technique fits, working on my lateral movement and getting east and west to chase down running backs when they're trying to beat me to the edge or whoever it may be. And I've also been working on my pass drops and rushing out of 2-point stance because, you know, I played out of a 3-point stance this past season. So, you know, I've just been working on everything I possibly can.
What do you want NFL teams to know about your willingness to lead, learn, and embrace future challenges?
I want them to know that I'm the type of person that doesn't leave things to chance. When it comes to preparing for a game, when it comes to working out, I don't skip reps. I don't skip film. Like I don't skip plays. I do everything to the best of my ability because when it comes down to winning the Super Bowl and everybody's in that stadium and they're doing everything they can on the field, you know, I've been in a championship game 3 times during my college career, and every time I've been there, I always think back to, dang, like what if I did that a little harder? What if I ran that rep a little harder? How much better shape would I be in right now to go and change the game? And it's the championship, but it's always too late when it's in the championship game. So I always take the pride in doing the work right the first time so that I don't regret it later.
Have you heard any advice from former Memphis players that are now in the NFL in regards to the pre-draft process?
Yeah, Jannard Avery, I talked to him a couple of times in this process, you know, during trying week and things like that. He was just telling me, don't let any of the pre-draft mock drafts, don't let those worry you. Don't let any scouting reports come out on you worry you. Don't let anything like that like cloud your mind. You know, just focus on getting better and controlling what you can control. And at the end of the day, everything will work out how it's supposed to.
Well, Bryce, I appreciate you joining me today. Blessings to you and your family as you prepare for this Thursday's draft, man. Stay safe.
Yes, sir. You too.